Hey everybody, it's your girl Lisi and I'm back again with another subscriber diary. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. My name is Lisi. My government is Alicia. You could call me either or because I will respond to both. And if you're a returning viewer, a subscriber, what's goody? What's poppin'? What's crackin'? What's crackin'? Y'all chillin'? Y'all chillin'? I bet. If you want to submit your own subscriber diary, aka subscriber story time, don't forget to send it down below to this email. I'm a little behind because this next one that we got up next was sent November 6th and it's April 20th. I'm so sorry, babe, but you know what? Better late than never. Y'all know I stay late with these subscriber diaries, but we're gonna get into it. So yeah, y'all, send me some more because we need some more because I will be continuing to read and do the subscriber diaries. So let's just get straight into it. The subject line is, he had the audacity. Let's see what big old bag, let's see what big old Telfar bag of audacity whoever son had. Hey Lisi, hey, I love your videos, thanks. For the context of my story, you could call me Chocolate Drop and the guy's name is going to be Annoying Banana. So let's get into it. Sips tea. Okay, let's get into it. We all love Target. I know I do. And especially the one in that area where I go to college. Target was calling my name one day and I decided to take the shuttle bus so I could go. This Target is always busy and there's way too many people. But I arrived and I was able to get the stuff that I needed. I came out of Target. I wanted to sit down and much to my disturbance, a bee was circling me. I didn't want to get stung, so I started to move slowly away after it landed on a liquor cap. As I got up, Annoying Banana started talking to me out of nowhere. He said, "Yeah, I'm disturbing you. Yeah, I took your space." Girl, I looked around like, what is actually... Me too, because I'm like confused. What is actually going on? So I said, "No, you're good." And Annoying Banana looked down at my shirt and he said, "Do you like oceans?" And I was utterly confused because, girl, my shirt had nothing to do with oceans at all. He then asked me whether or not I have been to Australia and I said no. I mentioned the terrible big spiders they had and Annoying Banana went on a tangent about it. Then he started asking me about where I go to school at, and yes, he was giving creepy. He asked if I go to Rutgers Camden, and I said no. He said, "So where do you go?" He asking too many questions. Oh my God. He asking too many questions. Like, why do you want to know where I go, sir? And I said, "Lawrenceville," and he said, "Oh, you go to Ryder?" And I very quietly said yes. What does that mean? What does "oh, you go to Ryder" mean? I want to know. And I very quietly said yes. I said it as quiet as a mouse looking for cheese while trying to exist because I didn't need this man trying to search me at my college. And that's what I call a no man. Yeah, but like, no, he act like he's a stranger. Like, don't, stranger danger, stranger danger. Don't be giving random people like information that they could use to link who you are up front, like, especially if you just meeting them in the street. Like, chill. He knew this guy who was a lifeguard and he went over to him and his child. He was up close and personal talking to the lifeguard and the kid was very uncomfortable. After they were done talking, Annoying Banana came over to where he was originally standing and I immediately went to the opposite side of the Target to have a seat. I didn't want him to bother me anymore and I was already uncomfortable. When it was nearing the time for my shuttle to come, I went back over to where I was originally and Annoying Banana had left. I was very happy and I got a sigh of relief. I made it safely back to my dorm. The end. Okay, well thank you for sending your story. Yeah, stranger danger. That's all I gotta say. Stay away from the strangers and their danger. If somebody is questioning you and they just met you a second ago, abort the mission. So I mean, you did I like, I wouldn't even given him the information of where my school was, and I would have been like, I don't know what I would have said, but don't know. Okay, what's the next one? How y'all feel about that? Let me know. All right, so boom, we got another one. Wait, it's empty though. What the hell? Oh, you sent me a whole entire Google Doc. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, for today's subscribers diary, we got that first one which was pretty short. And we got this one. The subject line is, or the story is called "My Ex, the OG." The OG, LOL, old man. Okay, y'all, get y'all a snack or something, because we might be here for a little minute, because sis wrote an essay. Let's get into it, though. Hey, Lacey, first of all, I want to commend you for speaking your truth about your ex. Oh, thank you. You don't know how many women you are helping, young and old, with your story. I am 34, and you have touched me. I'm glad. Thank you. Hopefully my story can help others as you have helped thousands. Now this guy we can call OG because he was old as hell. He was an R. Kelly. With your ex, I don't feel 11 years is that bad, but this dude was 23 years older than me, which I find disgusting. Yeah, because no, he could have really been your daddy, like 23 years older. Bombaclat. Okay, let's continue. I didn't know his real age until his brother told me. Had his brother never told me, I would have never known. He told me I wasn't his only young girl, which makes it even more gross. He told me when he was 40, he slept with a 19-year-old. That's nasty. He doesn't tell girls how old he is because I believe he has a sickness for young girls. And sad to admit, after I found out his age, I still introduced him to my son and got back with him. I wouldn't even consider him a real ex because I never met his daughters. I knew his other family, but similar to your situation, he told me I was too young. Yet I wasn't too young to, right? Right. Also, I was told that back in my early 20s, guy was only 6 years older than me and said we couldn't be together because I was too young. So it's bullshit, girl, trust me. He worked at the Brooklyn Law School, worked at Amazon, and did taxes on the side, yet always wanted to borrow money. It was ridiculous. His Jaguar was his everything. He never taught me how to drive. He knew I spent too much money on driving classes and said no one can touch his precious Jaguar that would break down every few months. Yeah, them Jaguars, I heard about them Jaguars. They not, He constantly would talk about a girl he messed with before me, and too much to the point I told him, stop talking about her. He said she was an unemployed hoe, yet she got grocery money, allowance, and I got none of that. Ooh, it's giving sugar daddy. He also gave her gifts, which as far as that, he got me a smart TV only because I didn't have one. He was reluctant in driving me to school or work. He was very selfish when it came to me, and I always held him down. I wasn't in love or anything. I was just lonely at the time, and looking back, the only reason why he pursued me is because I am lighter skinned, and he knew his brother's friends all try to holler at me, and it was a competition for him. We weren't compatible in his words, and he said I was corny because I don't smoke and drink. I hate cigarette smells, so I would tell him if he was coming to see me, he couldn't smoke that day because I can't smell it, and he listened. We always argued because I have my own opinion about things, and he's weird. He's very old in his thinking and not woke. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like when you're dealing with anyone who's older, like whether it's romantically, friendship wise, business wise, certain people at a certain age, they're gonna be stuck in their ways, and they is just not gonna change for you. And I'm not saying you specifically, I'm saying you as in general, anyone watching. For example, he thought that the Central Park 5 was guilty. He's delusional. He thinks that Biden is a great president and thought highly of the Clintons when we all know they were full of it. When we met, he was living with his brother, and he told me he was legally married with 2 daughters. Although I have a son, I was always told by friends to never date men with kids because they still messing with the baby mama. No comment. And for me, I haven't done anything with my son's dad since my son was conceived, which is weird for most, and I'm rare as fuck, I realize. But we weren't in a relationship, and I got pregnant after 2 times, and his ugly side 2 times, and he's ugly inside and out, which was a help to me not wanting to sleep with him ever again. Not to mention, he doesn't do much for my son until after my ex bought the TV. But other girls I know with kids do mess with their kid's dad, so it's true. But for OG, I trusted him because he was older and his wife isn't much to look at. And he told me, and from what I saw in pictures, extremely big nose, weird face, no shape. She dresses weird, and the brother confirmed that as well. But girl, wait. You said his wife? You said his wife? So, no shade, girl. But were you messing with a married man, or were they legally separated? Because my thing is, you was playing with stompy grounds, like, just to keep it a buck with you, sis. If he married, he married. Whether he married or they're legally separated or they're broken up. If the divorce decree ain't signed, what you doing, sis? What are you doing? And you know, you describing the wife to me, and you know what? The wife might be a chop hoe. You know what I'm saying? But he still decided to marry her for whatever reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh God. Let me continue. So I felt cool, no drama. I couldn't have been more wrong. And then he got kids by her too, no? Girl. After finding out his real age, Labor Day weekend 2019 is when we first broke up. We met December 2018, so almost a year I didn't know. His brother also said he has a 3rd daughter he don't claim, and he said he don't like her mom, so he don't claim her. And I'm like, okay, take a test. By the way, he's Trinidadian. Some with these Caribbean men. It's crazy because I is a Trini, so I could talk about Trini people, okay? But it's crazy, like the Caribbean men, they like the most trifling men, but it's something about them that I can't stay away from. Like, and lived in Trinidad until he was 12. His brother and I worked in 2016. I'm assuming you meant y'all worked together in 2016 at the World Trade Center, and that is how we met. I always felt funny going to his brother's house, and even one day I was spending the night. I woke up to his brother hugging me while I was naked, and OG saw nothing wrong with it. I'm like, you don't see anything wrong? He's like, oh, he's gay. I'm like, okay, that's not appropriate in general. This man never defended me. Labor Day weekend, his brother also revealed that the family was under a curse, which I do believe because all 3 of them like young people. The brother is gay, but he fucks with teen to men in their early 20s. OG messes with girls as long as you are legal, and his older brother messes with teen girls. His stepdad was in his 30s when he got with his mom at 19. He was just evil and controlling, and in pictures looks just like him, but not his biological dad. His mom lied to him, and for 16 years he thought his stepdad was his dad. So naturally, I feel he treats women bad because his mom was a whore who lied. That sound about right. That's why he effed up with child. Oh God. They both agreed to continue the cycle and lie to their son and tell him the truth at 16. Terrible, I know. He said he married his wife because she was pregnant with their 2nd daughter, and the last daughter is now 19. His older daughter was only 2 years younger than me. Meow.
No ma'am. No ma'am.
Pussy clot. The brother admitted and said he does voodoo. He started talking weird and I responded, my God is stronger than whatever you got going on. The blood of Jesus, and I kid you not, he woke up and pretended like nothing happened as if he was in a trance. So my gut in my first meeting him was right. Not that he was gay, but he is into demonic worship / voodoo. I'm scared. God always reveals things to me and the person would either not remember or deny it. It's like I have a magnet and I can't help it. In August 2020, his brother kicks him out and I don't blame him because he had $20K for a car but not a place. So he ends up at his ex crib. She moved out of state and was confirmed, and that was confirmed by the brother. He was very transparent with me, but for all I knew, she might have been coming every now and then to spend the night with him. I don't know. I wasn't allowed to come over, and I allowed this for 3 years. Sis, you know what? Don't think I'm judging you, sis. I'm just gagged. Like, I'm gagged right now. Like, I'm just gagged. He went from always spending the night with me to barely coming over. I asked for grocery money and his ex-wife allegedly left town. I always felt like the side chick. Okay, so she was his ex-wife when you met him, or was she the wife? Because I'm just a tad confused. Oh, I almost said your name. I'm just a tad confused, girl. I always felt like the side chick because my son and I were never welcome. We only spent one Thanksgiving together. That to me isn't normal for a couple. And for New Year's, he would act like he didn't want to be with me. Always was on the phone with his daughters saying, oh, he's supposed to be with them for New Year's. Like, to me, that's for grown people and adults, or grown people and couples. My son always with his dad, family for New Year's. That's me time to myself with friends, significant other, or church. 2020 New Year's going into 2021, we went to Atlantic City and couldn't even enjoy it because he stayed talking about his daughters. Grown ass daughters. He will always use them as an excuse. I'm close to my dad, but I have boundaries and I told him about that. His relationship with his oldest I felt was inappropriate, and he would say she had a sexy body, and how in the Caribbean family they hump each other on the dance floor. Okay, that is true, but saying that your daughter has a sexy body is crazy. Like, girl, this man is a whole predator. Like, now me, I know better because I've been raised in the culture with Trini friends, and that doesn't happen. Yeah, I mean, you're not doing that on family, you know, you're doing that on a random, your friends, your man or something, but not, I don't know. He would argue that I'm not West Indian. I'm like, okay, I know not every family is weird like yours. And his brother told me there's incest in their family. SMH, sad. Also, when he didn't spend the night, he said his younger daughter didn't feel comfortable with him spending the night with me. And I asked a serious question like, is she the girlfriend or am I? Because it wasn't making sense. And I felt like I was the other woman to his daughters. But he was so much of a liar that all the time he probably was with the same wife who he claimed was crazy. The brother even said she was no good for him, apparently, because she spends all his money, never worked, and got him into smoking and drinking. I'm the first person to help him quit. I'm the first person to tell him to go to the doctor to get his snoring checked out. He had to get antibiotics for that. His friends agreed I was the best thing to happen in his life, and he didn't deserve me at all. I was the first to help him with his credit, bills, put gas in his car I never was allowed to touch. I also went to school in Westchester, just like you, for my senior year, and he would tell me to come to Harlem and give me a ride to Westchester. Mind you, was only once a week for the fall and spring twice a week, but my professor called out sometimes and days off, and you know how the semester flies. This N-word gave me hell just to drive a half an hour, girl, and he only did it 3 or 4 times. I also paid $650 for the boot to come off, I'm assuming his car, and I cursed him out and demanded he pick me up from school. Once again, he tried to use his daughter as an excuse, and I said IDGAF about none of that ish, cause your lawyer daughter didn't pay for it. I did, so you better pick me up or else, and he did. But it's a shame I had to get gangsta for the basics. My credit card went up from using Uber so much to get to school. My other classes were online in Manhattan, but Mercy College is weird and they have you effed up on your senior year. I graduated May 2022, so them obstacles didn't stop me, and I was on and off from college since '07. My homeboy said he might have been low-key jealous of me, and that's crazy because he has 3 sources of income, including a full-time job. I mean, hey, I don't know what's going on in this situation. I can't confirm or deny anything. But dudes sometimes be jealous of their girls, but he sound like a very different, weird, demonic, negative type of breed of man. I can't give you a synopsis for what this man is on. I'm an assistant teacher for the Department of Education. Paras, we don't make anything. What made it effed up why he had me paying for dates and borrowing money and paid for half of our vacations. He took advantage of the fact that I was nice, and I believed him when he said he was broke because he was supporting 3 people plus paying for bills and a Jaguar. I also learned, don't tell a man you getting checks. So for the pandemic, I received all my stimulus checks plus food stamps and COVID relief checks. I gave the first checks to my parents. He got me a fur coat, paid tuition, and I didn't have to take out any loans for school. I also had financial aid and scholarships that helped me, and he knew this. And always wanted to borrow money, and I wasn't even working every day anymore at this point due to my schedule as a senior. Child, this is long. Oh my God. I'm only saying that because I'm tired, girl, but I'm gonna keep reading it. I gave my first check to my parents, got me a fur coat, paid tuition, and didn't have to take out any loans for school. I also had financial aid and scholarships that helped me, and he knew this, and always wanted to borrow money. And I wasn't even working every day anymore at this point due to my school schedule as a senior. The Department of Ed laid us off, and I went to do security full-time, and I was on online classes, but I was missing the classroom, and my junior year was overwhelming, so I went back to the Department of Education as a substitute teacher / teacher's assistant. I didn't have to work every day. Senior year was stressful, but I made it through. In February 2021, his ex-wife messaged me and then blocked me about him. Introduced herself as his wife and said I should get tested, and he goes to the Dominican Republic every year and they still love each other. Woo! I asked him, how does she even find my name? My name is hard to find. My last name is hard to find. He says he gave my number to his younger daughter. And I'm like, why would you do that? And we never met. He says, so if she needed to get in contact with me and I'm with you. I'm like, huh? But you always have your phone and they don't want to meet me. Then the brother tells me they don't like me. And I'm like, they don't even know me. That makes no sense. I was dumb, and before I was told that purchase books for his younger daughter. That sentence don't make sense for me. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Okay.
I am confusion.
I told him he should try to understand her. He said she said the daughter was autistic, and she said I told him should try to understand her. I was upset, so I told the brother what went down and told him what he told me about his wife, and he told the older daughter, so she stopped talking to him. After that, he was cool with his wife. So is she the ex-wife or the wife? Like, I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, and I'm confused because I'm like, why are you cool with someone that almost broke us up? Girl. Girl. If he had a wife before you and kids before you, I know he probably manipulated you into this situation, but didn't nobody almost break y'all up? Because he already had some ish going on before y'all. Oh, God. I did leave him after that, but ended up taking him back because I hung out with two other guys my own age, but we didn't hit it off. One was from work in 2020, and he had a small PP, which was surprising because he had a nice body and was a gym teacher. He also really wasn't pursuing me like that. The other guy was a CEO I met from Facebook. Wonderful resume. I looked him up. He went to Harvard alumni spot near Grand Central Station and was a nice guy, but I read his book and he went to jail for child porn. Ooh. And also, girl, your grammar, didn't I say, I be telling y'all, I need to read it. I forget to tell y'all to read the instructions in the description box, because I think that's what got me right now, because the grammar is not grammaring how it's supposed to grammar. So I'm trying to stay with you, babe. I'm trying. But going to jail for child porn is crazy. Oh God. So I went back to my ex. I can honestly say it was comfortability and I got used to him. I didn't really like him. Looks wise, he was handsome, but personality, he was weird. When he smiled, he looked like the devil. Ooh. His smile was so evil. He had rotten stained teeth due to smoking for over 30 years and didn't wear deodorant. Ugh. It's definitely giving demon. Like, it's definitely, if you know, you know. It's definitely giving demon. Okay. He didn't believe in it, so he would stink from time to time. His D started to smell like fish. It was a hot mess. He was good for getting concert tickets when I wanted, and my B days he would hold me down, but that's the bare minimum. He always called and texted, I can say, so his persistence kept me around for way too long. I rejected guys that's called a lot, but I felt like that wasn't bad until October 2022. I broke up with him for good when he uploaded a picture with his wife and I told him I was making an Instagram. When I asked him about it, he said it was a joke, and I said, well, I'm not laughing, take it down. And he said he didn't know how to, and I showed him via text, face to face and over the phone, and he never took it down. Because he was married the whole time. Girl, like, now you low-key pissing me the fuck off. Like, now you look like this man was a married man when you met him, and like, yes, you was the side chick the entire time. Whatever he told you, like, I hate to be getting a little staticky, but like, oh God. I'm sorry, like, because it's just, this is a lot. Like, they called each other husband and wife on Instagram, and I wasn't mad at that, but I'm like, okay, if y'all together, be together. Why lie and say she's crazy, unattractive? You don't want that when you look happy as hell on the gram. Girl, if he told you he was still married to this woman, I wouldn't have believed anything he said. Like that, like, okay, you know what? Let me just continue. Then on her gram, she posts nothing of him. Her post even says she's moved on. So very confusing, but that was the last straw for me, and explains why I couldn't come over his crib after he was kicked out of his brother's home. He said I couldn't come over because his daughter didn't want me over, when in reality, I believe was all him looking back. I don't know what that means. Also, in the beginning, he did tell me he didn't want a relationship, and I thought things changed, and he told people I was his girlfriend, so I thought he changed his mind. However, I never felt like the girlfriend. He never got me anything outside of an iPad for my son, bathrobe for my son, and a smart TV for my living room. And an AC that I demanded he got because the other AC my ex got wasn't working. And I said, don't you see it's hot in here? Get me an AC. The F? I swear. And Valentine's Day gifts, he said he got his wife stuff so he wouldn't feel bad. And I'm like, what about me? You and her aren't together, so what the F? If that's his wife, they together. They're together, babe. He said because he buy his daughter-ish and don't want the mom to feel left out. We never spent that day together. Always the weekend. Only 2019 we spent the day together. 2021, after his wife messages me, I paid for a hotel for us because I believed the BS when he told me she messaged me because he was blowing up her phone and her man's phone, so she retaliated. Hot mess. But October 2022 was the last strike for me. I was still sleeping with him, unfortunately, but I also met someone at work, my dream guy. Caramel skin, virgin. Virgin. Oh, caramel skin, virgin skin, nice body, very handsome. The most handsome man you will ever meet. I will send a pic, LOL, and he told me that he would never think I would be with someone like my ex. That how I carry myself, he would never think, and I deserve better. So that made me feel good. And he told me he's not an alpha male. But yeah, he and the grammar in the spelling. But I'm happy he helped me move on from something as toxic as OG. On April 1st of this year, me and OG went out to Madison Square Garden. And he drives me home. We have the nasty. And he leaves saying he gotta take his grown ass 32-year-old daughter to the airport. And I'm like, why can't her fiance or herself drive her to the airport or take a Uber? Girl, why you be so mad that the man want to do stuff for his kids? Like, I know he a little pedo. Okay, I know he a pedophile. But why? That's my question for you. Why are you bothered when, okay, granted, he might be lying some of the time, whatever the case may be, but if he's really like helping out his kids, regardless if they're grown or not, why does that bother you? Why does that bother you? Like, oh my God. So after that, girl, I wasn't giving him no more cat. And plus I told him from when we broke up, I was no longer paying for dates and now no more sex. He offered to take me out for Mother's Day and calls and says push it to 5:30 p.m. I said no, I'm going to take my son out. Why should I wait for you knowing you won't be on time? Another thing, when we went places, he was always late. 2019, he had me waiting in the street for 2 hours and didn't apologize. He stopped off at his job and was chit-chatting. He was very selfish and in general was always late for everything. Finally, July of this year, Mida from Love and Hip Hop, I don't know who that is, was in Valley Stream and I asked him to take me since he drives. I met her and we had sex for the last time and was horrible.
I am confusion.
I'm confused. And felt bad because I just had sex with my former co-worker and that's when I told him I was effing someone else and he tells me he effed some girls from a cruise he went on with his daughter and flew to Florida to get cat, SMH, all while trying to get some from me. And I was saying to him, so why were you pursuing me? He says I wasn't pursuing you. Like, wow, LOL. Okay. But girl, he was 57.
I know you fucking lying, bitch.
And acted 21. Was ridiculous. I blocked him for good in September and he actually stopped calling. It started being prison calls. He would call me 10 minutes and say he gotta go. I hated that and I blocked him. I already stopped effing with him and hanging out. So the phone I was done with too. And he never listened to me when I talked. When his daughter was in the psych ward, Jesus, I was the one praying and I told him to get her mother so she wouldn't be forced into foster care. From my school's resources, he was able to get help. This girl, like the grammar and some of the stuff you're saying is just not making sense. Like the order of events have me a little confused. Like I'm not even about to read this sentence because I just don't see how it correlates to what you just said. Anyways, okay, let me skip here. But was a learning experience to hold on to my standards. He also bragged about beating his wife. I told him if he ever touched me, I would unalive him and end up on Snapped or 6 o'clock news. He knew I wasn't playing. I regret ever having him around my child at all. He only babysat him once, but I always let my son around him even when broken up. I know that was a bad choice. I was also embarrassed of him, and he never met my parents. He met them once at my son's birthday party in December 2019, but they never brought him up, and I don't remember him, and I never told them about him at all, even before I found out his age, because the fact he had kids and was legally married. Information you knew up front that he was legally married. Therefore, Miss Mamas, you shouldn't have been entangled with a married man. Oh my God. I knew I was settling, and my parents are married, and they were religious and was married before they had me, so they wasn't gonna hear it. I'm also an only child, but lots of cousins and big family. I also have a book out called, okay, so she tells me the name of her book. She says she wants to stay anonymous, so there's that. And she said, thanks for reading my long ass story. You're welcome. Thank you for submitting it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm tired. Like, after reading that, I'm tired. Like, I'm legitimately tired. I hope you learned your lesson. I hope this was an experience to never go through no ish like this again. Don't deal with married men. Don't deal with a married man ever again. And it was a lot, but I mean, I'm not judging you because, you know, people can judge me for my experiences. So yeah, that's all I really have to say for that one, y'all. That, like, if y'all made it to the end of this video, put this emoji on the screen. Definitely don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next subscriber diary. Later.
I think I lie for you. I think I die for you. Sure to cry for you.